She lied about pregnancy just to steal another woman's fiancé, but one unexpected test would soon expose everything Linda had done. Linda was alone in the room. The moment Frank left, she burst into laughter. She jumped on the bed, clapping her hands excitedly. "Frank believes I'm pregnant," she said happily. "He thinks the baby came from that night he was drunk." She spun around in excitement. "Now, there's no way he won't marry me." Her voice dropped into a satisfied whisper. "Finally, Frank is mine." Days passed, and Linda continued living in Frank's house. Everything seemed perfect. One evening, Frank called Linda into the living room. There, standing before her, he held a small box. Linda's heart began to race. Frank knelt down slowly and opened the box. Inside was a ring. "Linda," he said softly, "will you marry me?" Linda gasped with excitement. "Yes," she shouted happily. "Yes, I will marry you." She hugged him tightly. At that moment, Linda believed she had finally won. The next day at the radio station, Linda could not hide her excitement. During her live presentation, she made a surprising announcement. "I have wonderful news for my listeners today," she said proudly. "I'm getting married." Her colleagues cheered loudly after the show. They congratulated her. Linda felt like the happiest woman in the world. Weeks later, Rita heard the news on the radio. Her heart sank. She immediately went to Frank's house. When she arrived, Linda was not home. Frank opened the door. Rita stood there, her eyes filled with tears. "Frank, please listen to me," she said. Frank sighed. "It's too late, Rita. I've moved on with Linda." But Rita refused to leave. She looked directly into his eyes. "Are you sure Linda is pregnant?" Frank frowned. "What do you mean? Have you seen any pregnancy test result?" Frank remained silent. "Have you seen any medical document?" Rita continued. Then she added one more question. "Have you done a DNA test to confirm the baby is yours?" Frank said nothing. Rita cried. "Frank, please, think carefully. Linda has been involved in everything that happened between us. Please investigate the truth." With tears streaming down her face, Rita walked away. That night, Frank sat quietly, thinking deeply. Rita's words echoed in his mind. He realized something strange. He had never seen any pregnancy test result. And yes, a DNA test could confirm everything. But Frank knew Linda might refuse. So he came up with a plan. When Linda returned home that evening, Frank spoke calmly. "Linda, we need to go to the hospital tomorrow." "For what?" she asked. "A genotype test." Linda laughed confidently. "I'm AA," she said proudly. "I can marry anybody." But Frank insisted. "I want to see it myself." Linda thought for a moment. "He's already mine," she told herself. "There's no harm." So she agreed. The next day, they arrived at the hospital. Linda felt relaxed. But suddenly, she realized something was wrong. The doctor began preparing for a pregnancy test. Linda froze. Her heart began pounding. Frank had deceived her. Minutes later, the doctor returned with the result. She looked at Frank. "Sir, this woman is not pregnant." Silence filled the room. Frank slowly turned to Linda. Linda felt the ground disappear beneath her feet. Shame covered her face. Without saying a word, she ran out of the hospital in tears. Linda returned to Frank's house. She packed her bags quickly. She knew there was nothing left to explain. Her games were over. Before Frank returned, she quietly left the house. This time, she had no more tricks, no more lies, no more plans. With tears in her eyes, Linda walked away. 2 months passed. One evening, Linda was scrolling through the internet. Then she saw it. A wedding photo. Frank and Rita. They were smiling. They had gotten married. Linda stared silently at her phone. Her mind went back to that day in the restaurant. The day she first saw Frank while she was going for a job interview. She had wanted him so badly. She had fought so hard to make him hers. But now, he belonged to someone else. Linda closed her eyes. Then she whispered a quiet prayer. "Universe, please send me a man who will truly love me." She had finally learned something painful. Love cannot be stolen. And forcing someone to love you only leads to heartbreak. She picked up her phone and decided to go buy some fruits to cheer herself up. When she arrived at the fruit stand, she chose a banana. Just then, she heard a familiar voice asking the fruit seller for apples. Suddenly, she turned toward the voice. It was Frank. "Frank, what are you doing here?" she asked. The person standing beside her replied, "Frank, do you know my twin brother?" Linda was shocked. Could two people really look so much alike? Or was this her prayers being answered?